Hi, thank you so much, Susan, for having me on tonight. And so let me begin by saying there are people in the world, victims of abuse, those who are mentally abused, physically abused, those who go through pain and heartache on a regular basis. I was a victim of abuse for 30 years and had to plan my way out. It took me a minute, it took me a year, but I did it. And after some time after, I decided that, another woman shouldn't have to go through abuse. And so that I had to reach back to get a victim of abuse. And so what I do is an extra strategist. I write strategic plans for women, particularly women. Men are abused as well. But for me, I write plans for women to get out of their abusive situation, both nationally and internationally. That involves planning, not just me, it's the victim that I gain information from because she knows her abuser best. She knows his whereabouts, where he works, where he doesn't work, his timing, and all of that stuff is so very vital in the planning of her escape. There are resources that she needs. We need to find resources. And so I connect with her, find out all of the information that I possibly can, devise a plan, come up with a plan strategically made for her. It doesn't come one size fit all because each, scenario of abuse is different from one person to another. So it's strategically, tailor-made to her. And in the interim, what happens is there's usually a waiting period, or there's usually a fast motion period, such as this morning, I had a call on a client and a plan that was made had to be totally scrapped because things have changed. So what I do is I make those plans, tailor-made to that woman, that victim of abuse, whether it be physical abuse or emotional abuse or, stalking. That's what I do. I'm here because I was once a victim. And I just don't want to see another woman having to go through abuse because she doesn't have to. Understand that 1 in 4 women report on a daily basis. 1 in 3 women die on a daily basis here in the United States. Every 9 seconds, a woman is being beaten. And with those statistics, and they're on the rise, something has to be done. And so therefore, it is my position, my call, my duty, responsibility, and obligation to ensure a woman's safety. So that's, in a nutshell, in less than 2 minutes, about what an exit strategist does. That's exactly what it is that I do. And I'm here because of the experience that it is that I went through. Everything is about relationship. And so it's important for me to listen. In a relationship, we have to think about what it is that we want. We want somebody to listen to us and listen with intent and, to not basically take ownership, but listening. Listening is so very key in any relationship, as well as all a victim truthfully wants to hear is that they are believed. Do you believe me? And so when I get the phone call after listening, after, sharing with them what it is that I do, and, sharing of myself in the way that she can begin to trust me, knowing what it is that I know and understand exactly how she feels right at that moment. It's something to, give your all to someone, and, you want them to believe you. You want them to hear you. You want them to, at least feel a little bit about what, I'm going through. It's like, for instance, if you go to a doctor and you have a problem with your foot. When you have a problem with your foot, you're not going to visit a pediatrician. Pediatrician knows all about babies. That's that specialty. but you want to go to a foot doctor, someone who knows all about the feet in order to correct the problem. And you also want somebody who has shared your experience. There's nothing worse than, giving your all and expecting somebody to understand. And then the return is, well, get over it, just deal with it. All right. It's not going to last that long. That rejection piece is really, really, just another knife in the side of a victim. They want to know that you've been through what they've been through, that you understand their emotions, their feelings, their right now moment. And so that's what happens in a phone call. I try to build relationship as quickly as possible as I can. After that, after listening, then I'm able to determine, is this high risk, meaning are there weapons in the house? Are there guns in the house? Are there drugs in the house? Those very, very high risk situations, they need to really move real quick in order to get out, but doing it safely. I determine what level of risk they're in. I also try to calm them down, because their emotions are so super, heightened, that I try to bring them to a level of where, okay, you can breathe, you can rest right now. I'm listening. I've been through what you've been through, and we're going to get through this together. And I understand. After that initial little bit of, going back and forth, that listening period, then I need to find out, is she ready to go? Quite often, in the mindset of a victim, yeah, I need to get out. Yeah, I want to get out. But when we get to that door, or when we get to that threshold where they've got to take action and actually put into motion the plan that's been laid out, most often there's hesitation. And so I'm figuring out their hesitation. Where are they? Are they ready to move at that minute? Are they ready to go? And understand this, and this is so vital, that a victim stays for many, many valid reasons to her. I'm breaking up a family. I'm taking my children away from the family. I'm causing this rift. Although she's being abused, most often victims feel guilty because they're about to break open or break apart a family. So there's a whole lot of bustle and tussle within the mind about that. So I need to know, are you absolutely sure that you're ready to go? And there's some questions that I ask, and there's some feelers that I listen for to allow me to know, she's not ready yet. We've got to wait a minute. And when she gets to this point, then we'll move, or she's ready. The other thing is resources. Do we have enough resources? Do we have a vehicle? Do we need to get a mode of transportation? Do we need to get somebody to come in and, escort her out? I have resources to do that as well. There are a couple of questions to figure out, is she ready to go or is she not ready to go? Because, domestic violence, again, will always end in death. And when a victim is leaving, what happens is that the abuser's power is leaving. The abuser's power of control is about to go. He doesn't know that yet. And forgive me, I'm speaking about women because that's what I know. But I need to tell you, men are abused as well. 1 in 7 men report on a daily basis that they are being abused. So men are abused as well. But because I know women, I speak about women. But because it's a deadly situation, the longer you stay, the more risk you run of dying. With that being said, every step has to be absolutely, taken lightly and taken in action. And you don't want to, tip off the abuser. You don't want to, in some way, have him connect that she's leaving. The power that he has over her. See, women don't realize this, victims don't realize that they are power. They don't understand that they are power. And that's why they get, abusers get so, upset, is because my power is leaving. Once they understand that once removed and they are left to themselves, they're hopeless. They're pitiful. They have no power. Their power is gone. The victim, prayerfully, with correct guidance and correct um, being in the correct support group and being around like-minded women who've been through what she's been through, they will begin to understand all along, I had the power. For those of you who may know that, uh, power is within a victim. She just has to get there. But the abuser knows that she's powerful. That's why the control. That's why the abuse. The level of abuse gets heightened each time she begins to get more powerful. Leaving and making sure that this plan is tailor-made, and it's not an overnight thing. Sometimes I have to think about it. I really have to put my head to the paper and really plan this out. And that may take a day. It may take a week. Things develop, things change. But initially, that relationship that I built in such a short amount of time to let her know that she's not alone, that I've been through what she's been through. I understand her feelings and emotions, and I ain't going nowhere. I'm right here through the whole entire ride. Sure. Um, in children, it's usually it's I can't say because I know it's um, the withdrawal in children when you see a child withdraw. If you see a child in a family setting where there's a family gathering, we many are celebrating different holidays. There's holiday parties and get-togethers, and if you find your child, particularly young children, that they don't want to be around Uncle so-and-so, that they recoil and they don't want to play with cousin so-and-so, where everybody else is enjoying their time, but you see your child or a child, a niece or nephew, each and every time it's the same reaction. Young children won't verbally say, Uncle so-and-so is bothering me. Aunt so-and-so is touching me in the wrong way. They won't verbally say that because they've more than likely been threatened. They've been told that, they're going to kill. Usually they will tell them, I'm going to tell on you. I'm going to hurt your mom. Somebody near and dear to them, a threat is made upon one of their loved ones. So when you see children recoil and not participating, that's one sign. In women who are older, when you see them not wanting to participate, when you see them, always making excuses for the red flags that you see. How many family gatherings have we been to, and we've seen, Uncle so-and-so berate and just cuss out, your aunt, and everybody's sitting back and like, it's almost expected. But however, she puts it off as, oh, that's how he acts. I don't mind him. Excessive makeup. I want to say women are usually makeup artists. We should win the Academy Award when it comes to costume and makeup for the Grammys, because I have, and many are and continue to be the most excellent makeup artist there is when it comes to covering up bruises. You're wearing turtlenecks or scarves in the heat of the summer. If you find or you see someone for whom that are close to you, you see them regularly, but their gait, their walk is a little bit different. Just sitting back and listening to what's not being said. When you find your relative no longer attending family gatherings and you very rarely see your loved one, that isolation piece, the abuser, his whole entire his grooming part of his planning is to move his victim away from family and friends for total isolation, where you never see them. You don't even see them for funerals. There's always a problem for them to come. When you invite them to come over, they can't come, and they make up whatever reason. Isolation is the ultimate goal of an abuser, so that the level of abuse gets turned up, and the heat turns up quite high when he has had them isolated for a period of time. So if you can begin questioning a loved one for whom you used to see on a regular basis, but you no longer see them anymore, and that they're totally withdrawn when they used to be bubbly, outgoing, those are some red flags. But the other thing is, you could never go to a victim and ask a victim, hey, are you okay? Are you all right at home in your relationship? When you begin to go in that way, they'll never give you the straight answer. They'll never give you the straight answer. The only thing that I can say is this, is that if you offer yourself up to say, I'm here for you at any time that you need. I am always listening. They want to be believed. They want you to know that you're listening, as well as if they call you at 3:00 in the morning and just want to talk, that you listen and don't fix it. Please do not fix it. They don't want you to fix it. They want you to listen. If you're able to handle that information, she will tell you what it is that she needs, and from there you can go follow up and get the resources. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your comments. So I can be reached across all social media. On Facebook, you can find me at Dorothea Thea Robinson. There are programs in which that you can find me with. All you have to do is look up for LADV. That's a life after the domestic violence. So across social media, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me Facebook. You can find me LinkedIn under LADV, for life after domestic violence. If for any reason you know of anybody who's in a situation that's abusive, or if you think that they're in an abusive situation, 9 out of 10, they just don't have the ability to talk yet. You can send them to me in any platform. You can go to bit.ly/talk with Thea. It's just an opportunity for me to listen. And it's an opportunity for me to get to know them so that I can direct them to where it is that they need to go. So I'm across all social media. You can find me mostly on Facebook. You can reach me through Messenger. I also need to say 24 hours, I'm up. This has been a busy season with calls, so I'm up all kinds of hours. I love you. I love you more. Thank you, Susan, because You've got a heart as big as Texas, as they say, and I love you as well.